Good morning, Rockridge. So I'm going to talk about life-changing experiences for a minute because especially at this point in life, when you go through high school, the next coming years, I know some of you are in grade 8, grade 9, and grade 10. You're going to go through some life-changing experiences in the next few years. At high school, after high school, right around now. And we call these milestones. And they can shake the ground underneath your feet and cause you to take a look at your life, where you're going in life, and whether you want to go to that place or not. I'm hoping that this story I'm about to tell you is going to inspire you. I'm hoping that it's going to open up your eyes to a new way of thinking about the world in some way. Now before I go on to talk about my trip to Africa, what I'm going to do is tell you a very personal story. If any one of you had told me that I'd be up here speaking, or in some sort of leadership position, I wouldn't have believed you. I'd have just been like, no, you got the wrong guy, sorry. Because I hadn't taken control of my life. I wasn't in control of myself. I looked around me and I just wanted to fit in, be like everybody else. So I started to see that it was normal to smoke weed after school, get drunk on the weekends all the time, and eventually I became a drug dealer. And the consequences eventually caught up to me. It was about halfway through grade 11, and I was out one night at a field, just doing what I would do on a regular Friday night, right? Me and my friends were just sitting in this big group of, like a big circle, 20 or 30 of us. And I had just bought a nice giant bag of marijuana. Half an hour later, there's a light to my left that I see. And I see another light to my right. I look up, and it was a couple of police officers. They were closing in on us. And then they see me, and I'm sitting there cross-legged, and I've got this big pillow-sized bag of marijuana, half a pound. They didn't get the story straight from anybody. No one could say anything. So they sent us all home, except for a few of my friends, interrogated them that night, and got the real story. The hardest part of this whole thing was watching my parents' reaction when they found out the truth. And then hearing this police officer tell me that I was going to go to court, and I was going to face a criminal record, and be charged with drug dealing. So much for being a firefighter, that's what I thought. Like my dreams, my life is basically shattered. It's the worst feeling of my life. I started to think though, why am I here? Why am I in this situation? Why did this happen to me even? And it struck me that all my life I've been letting the people around me, the environment I was growing up in, determine who I was. And I started to think, well, if I keep on doing this, doing what I'm doing, if I keep on drug dealing, getting involved in criminal activities like I am I really going to have a great life? Am I really going to live it to the fullest? Well, no, I'm not, obviously. I need to change. I need to set a goal. That's what I decided. I need to set a great goal. Has anybody here ever heard of the Ironman? The Ironman is the world's biggest one-day endurance event that there is. So after high school, I signed up for this. I had a whole year to train for the race. So about halfway through the year of training, I had an amazing idea though. I said to myself, I'm doing this triathlon to help myself, an Ironman race, to make myself into a better person, right? Why don't I do it to help other people as well? I can do a fundraiser. Yeah, okay, I'll do a fundraiser. And I started thinking, well, who needs it? And then I thought, the people around the world who are living in poverty, like extreme poverty, they're so poor that they can't even afford to have the same problems that we have here in Canada. So I'll raise money for them. Why not? And I thought, okay, I gotta set a big goal. How about $10,000? And the reason why they call it an Ironman is because after you swim for 3.8 kilometers, you bike for 180 kilometers, and then you run a full marathon, which is 42 kilometers. I came through the finish line here, 12 and a half hours, that's my finish time. And I was the youngest male finisher that year. This was the best feeling of my life. Best day of my life entirely. After I came through the finish line, I saw some family and friends. This is a random kid I just picked up. I was like, hey! No, I'm just kidding, that's my cousin. And I was at $5,000 with the fundraiser that I was doing. Originally, I set a goal of reaching $10,000, right? Am I gonna quit on that? Or am I gonna go all the way and reach that? What kind of person do I want to be for the rest of my life? Do I want to be that type of person that goes till enough? Or do I want to go beyond enough into what we call excellence? That's what I want to do with my life. That's the kind of person that I want to be. So I decided to keep on raising money. And in January, I reached $10,420. And at that point, I looked back at the past 5 or so years, from mid-high school to where I was then. This is 2009. And I thought, I've never been this happy with who I am and where my life is. And that's because of the changes I had made in my life, while helping other people at the same time. And when you do that, good things happen to you. So the next thing that happened to me was that organization that I fundraised for, World Vision. They've got this program called the Youth Ambassador Program, which basically means they take 6 Canadian teenagers to Africa every year for free. And so I applied for this, and I was accepted, and that's how I got to go on my trip to Africa. Everywhere we'd go, there'd be kids on the side of the road just like this. They'd be waving to us. Sometimes they'd flip out and be just like, Mzungus, Mzungus! That's what they'd be saying to us, which means white people, white people. That's what they're saying to us. This is a normal family that's living in poverty. And a lot of the world's population is living something like this. Does anybody here actually know what the world's population is? 6.9. Wow, we got some smart people in this audience. Wildebeest, 6.9. See if you guys get my math questions coming up. All right, so get this. Most people don't know this, but 80% of the world's population lives on $10 per day or less. That's like you're getting by with the necessities. You've got a shelter, you've got medical care, you've got food, you've got your kids in school, $10 a day. And then there's a category of people that are living on $2.50 per day. That's where over 3 billion people are living. The average teenager in North America spends $100 per week. What? Yeah. And when you're living like this, it's just a struggle to survive. That's all you can basically think about, is to make it till tomorrow. It's your mission in life, just to survive another day, and another day, and another day. And it gets worse when it's compounded with things like diseases, corrupt governments, you've heard of child soldiers, wars, all these things that we don't need to worry about. They don't affect people like you and me. It's not my problem. It's not your problem either. Unless we make it our problem and decide to help out. But we have the ability, maybe even the responsibility, to make a difference in our world. We'll never be able to be this young again. So decide right now whether you want to live your life to the fullest. Find out what it means. You can go way beyond what you expect of yourself. I went from a drug dealer to an Ironman to a youth ambassador. What kind of greatness is calling you? If there's only one thing that you remember from this whole presentation, it should be this. The greatest reward that you can ever achieve for yourself in life will come to you when you do 2 things. The first is to find a purpose for living that is beyond yourself. And the second is to strive for excellence